Did you ever walk into a room and suddenly it feels like all your oxygen is crazily gone? Your heart starts pounding, your palms get sweaty, and in a couple of minutes your brain goes on flight mode. It's not that you don't fit in. You know what you want to say, but the words won't come out. And then silence. Very awkward, painful silence. And in that moment, you convince yourself of something. I'm just not good at talking to people. They think I'm weird. I'm better off just staying quiet. Well, that's not true. Give me the next few minutes, and I'll show you exactly how to erase social anxiety forever, without forcing yourself into awkward situations, without faking confidence, and without overthinking every little thing you say. But first, let me tell you about the real reason you feel socially anxious in the first place. So what's the root cause why social anxiety exists? Most people think social anxiety is just being shy or introverted. It's not. Social anxiety is your brain running an outdated survival program. Think about it. A few thousand years ago, if you got rejected by your tribe, you were screwed. You couldn't survive alone. So your brain evolved to fear rejection like it was life or death. The problem? That survival instinct didn't get the memo that we're in the 21st century. Your brain still treats every social interaction like a life-threatening situation when, in reality, the worst thing that can happen is someone might not vibe with you. That's it. So how do we shut this outdated fear off? We have to reprogram your brain to stop seeing social interactions as a threat. Right now, your brain associates social situations with danger. That's why your body reacts with anxiety. But what if you could flip that association? What if instead of panic, your brain expected reward? You do this through something called micro-exposure wins. What the heck do I mean by that? I mean, instead of forcing yourself into overwhelming situations like giving a speech or approaching strangers, you start tiny. Tiny little things like the next time you order coffee, hold eye contact for 1 extra second at the counter. When you walk past someone, nod and say hey. If you're in a conversation, ask one more question before leaving. Each time you do this, your brain gets a new message that, oh, that wasn't so bad. Repeat this enough, and suddenly, social situations stop feeling like a battlefield and start feeling normal. And once you've got that foundation, now you just got into the social person zone. People don't often say this, but I have to. Even after you start getting comfortable, there's still that little voice in your head saying, what if I say something stupid or totally embarrass myself? Honestly, that's something to expect, and I will tell you why. That's because social anxiety isn't just about what you do and say. It's way deeper than just a conversation with someone. That, in fact, is the simplest thing to solve. The uncommon truth is social anxiety is about how you think. I'm sure you're wondering how, so let me explain. Frankly, social anxiety mostly happens when you focus too much on yourself, analyzing how you look, how you sound, and what people think of you from the outside, and judging every little move sure happens to everyone. But here's the thing. Nobody cares. People aren't analyzing your every word. They're too busy thinking about themselves. And once you flip your focus from how am I coming across to how can I make them feel comfortable, social anxiety disappears instantly. Because suddenly, it's not about performing to impress, but it's about connection with this person. Here's a little trick. Next time you're in conversation, imagine your only job as being curious about the person in front of you. Ask yourself, what's something interesting about them? What's their story? What do they care about? The more curious you get about them, the less anxious you feel about yourself. And the best part is people will love talking to you because curiosity is magnetic. But what if you run out of ideas? That's where the next step comes in. When you talk to someone, your brain is most times coming up with the right thing to say while they're talking, panicking that the conversation will die. Both of these kill the flow, because instead of actually listening, you're mentally trying to plan your next line. And when you do that, you miss the easiest way to never run out of things to say, which is listening for conversation hooks. People are constantly giving you free material to work with, but most people miss it because they're too focused on what they're going to say next. Here's how conversation hooks work. Let's say someone says, yeah, I just got back from a trip to Japan. Most people either give a generic response like, that's nice, They panic or change the subject because they don't know what to say. But every sentence someone says contains a hook you can use to keep the conversation flowing. In this case, you could say, "No way, Japan? That should be on my bucket list. What was your favorite experience staying there?" Boom. Now the conversation flows naturally. No awkward silences. No scrambling for what to say. Just an effortless back and forth. The more you do this, the more people will love talking to you. Because people love feeling heard. And when you ask about their experiences, they'll associate you with good feelings. Well, there's still one last thing holding you back. And it's the one thing that will erase your social anxiety forever. The most charismatic people in the world don't have perfect conversation skills. They don't say the smartest thing all the time. What they do is own the moment. If they mess up, they laugh it off. If there's a silence, they're totally fine with it. They never look like they're trying to be social. They just are. And that's what makes them magnetic. The next time you feel social anxiety creeping in, try this. Instead of resisting it, lean into it. When you stop seeing it as a problem, it stops being one. That's the real secret. That's how you erase social anxiety forever.